So I'm riding out here to Lowndes High School. This is the entrance to the school. And obviously I'm just going to turn around right here and not go up to the school because I do not have any professional reason to be here today. My child does not go to Lowndes High School. I graduated from Lowndes High School years and years ago. And I'm talking today about Federal Educational Rights and Privacy Act, also known as FERPA. Here's the other side of Lowndes High School sign. And I'll keep on going here and I'll go up to the Board of Education where I can park because as a member of the public, I can visit my Board of Education and go in and talk to them about something that is of concern to me. If I had one, about how they're using our taxes to run the school. But I don't really have anything to discuss with them. So I'm just going to drive through there and maybe park, finish this video, I don't know. So the reason FERPA is pertinent to the death of Kendrick Johnson is because the Kendrick Johnson family and their attorney, Shaveen Bowers King, also known as Shaveen King, got out in public and they said that the school system was denying them the surveillance video, as people call it. And I don't like calling it surveillance video because it's just video from the school system. There's probably 40 or more cameras in Lowndes High School, and they don't run 24/7. They're motion activated. They turn off when there's no motion. They also turn off if a student runs out of the range of motion. So a lot of people were confused by what the video looked like when it finally was released, because they saw people appearing and disappearing on camera, and that's because the cameras aren't activated unless people are within this range of the motion sensors, and I guess it's probably about 25 to 30 feet. That's what it looked like to me based on what I saw of these images. But I'm gonna come up here and park away from the Board of Education and just talk for a minute. So FERPA, Federal Educational Rights and Privacy Act, that is a federal law which basically says that the public is not entitled to take pictures or to see faces or to see any kind of information regarding minor students in a public school system, and that includes video. And so when the KJ family wanted all of this video, the lawyers explained to them what the situation was, that they couldn't release it to the family without a judge's order. And they certainly couldn't release it to the news media without a judge's order. But they said that the KJ family and their attorney or attorneys were invited to come into the lawyer's office and sit down, and they could view all the video in a setting. It's called in camera, which is a legal term, I believe. So they could look at it there and see if there was anything that that spoke to them as far as where they wanted investigators to go and look, or who they wanted investigators to look at. The family and their attorney did not take advantage of this offer. Instead, they got out in public and said that the school system was stonewalling them and refusing to give them any information on KJ's final movements as recorded on the video. So over and over they said this publicly, and people were outraged, of course, because nobody was trying to explain to the public what FERPA was all about and why the law had to be followed before they released the video to the public or to the news media. So finally, the sheriff's attorney and the school attorney went to a judge and said, we need you to release this if we're going to satisfy the family, or if we're going to try to calm their fears about what happened. And the judge did give an order, and so the unredacted files from the sheriff's department, because the minors' names were also being protected in those files, they were redacted. So they released the redacted files and they released the video without blurring any of the students. But there's still people out there today that say, see what they did? They blurred the students' faces. They were trying to tamper with evidence. And there are people out there that take still photos of the video and they blow it up and they claim that they're seeing blood, which in reality is a logo on someone's jacket. I think it might have even been a Ralph Lauren logo. They claim that somebody is carrying bloody clothes in a plastic bag, and I think it was the person's locker room clothes, and they were taking them home to clean them. There was no blood from KJ found anywhere in the gym except on him and in the mat that he was in. I'll come back to some blood on the wall and some blood that was in a locker room, and I'll talk about that later. But FERPA also means that a member of the public can't come out here onto a school ground. And you saw when I pulled into the Lowndes High entrance, I just turned around and came back out because I have no legitimate reason to go up to the school today. You can't just walk around school grounds and take video thinking that this is a public place. Those students are there under the care and supervision of teachers, coaches, administrators, and custodians who are acting in loco parentis, I think the term is, which means that they hold the parents' rights while that child is at the school system. And so those students have rights that protect them from the public coming there and taking video and then doing whatever they want with the video. We have laws in this country and we try to follow the law. Some people don't understand it and they want to claim that it's discrimination and that it's racism, but it is the law and it has to be followed. Now, people can argue, and they have argued, that there needed to be better supervision of students because of how KJ died, because he crawled into that mat and no one found him for almost, I believe it was 20 hours. So he was last seen at approximately 1:30, and then he is found the very next day at approximately 10:30, and I believe that's 20 hours. It is thought that he went unconscious very rapidly, and that death came very rapidly. So he was upside down for 20 hours. And I've talked before about what happens to a body in that situation. It was a tragic accident, and it was the perfect storm of various laws and issues that all coalesced around the death of this child, and it made people disbelieve what the authorities were saying. And it made people think that there was a racist murder at a high school and everybody conspired to cover it up. But I just wanted you to know what FERPA was about. That's the reason why it took so long to release what we call the unredacted video and the unredacted case file. The case file was released at the end of May, but the minor students' names in that case file were hidden. And it wasn't until a judge made a ruling that the unredacted case file was released to the public. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Take of it what you will.